the other person who's getting a lot of plaudits is Michael Carrick. Players are always going to praise a new manager because they want to get on the right side of him. But Mateus Cunha absolutely glowing in his praise of Carrick. Lissandro Martinez has already posted on social media talking about the work that Carrick and his backroom team do as well. You know him. What's he been doing to get this performance out of Manchester United?
I think a level of calmness, I think, which hasn't been there, I think, for quite a while now. And I think when you look at Michael Carrick, you think he's a quiet lad, and he studied the game, he understands the game, and he's gone into that job and knowing it's a difficult job to do. But what he's done, he's brought the basics back to Manchester United, and players working hard, players getting behind the ball, they're running for each other, they're working together for each other, and they're more confident. And certainly after the last weekend's win, they're more confident. So I actually seen him on Saturday morning, and he said to me he had to stop training. The training was that good. He wanted to try and bottle it up and make sure they had that performance for the game the following day, which obviously we did. But I think he's done superb, and I'm absolutely delighted for him.
I think one part of that though must be, and you can tell me better, but he must be communicating with the players better in terms of freeing them up. Because when I talk about body language, players being more confident on the ball, that comes from your leader giving you that freedom. And maybe before it was more rigid in the hammering system, we don't know. But is he a good communicator in that respect?
Oh, unbelievable communicator. And I think for the best managers, what you need to do is make sure every player, as you said about Cunha, every player is happy and wants to play for you. And I think the last 2 weeks have really shown that. And Cunha's come off the bench twice, and he's had the impact of his assist for Mason Mount, and obviously his winning goal today. So his communication will have been spot on.
Because the question about Manchester United has always been, how good is this squad? How good are the players that Manchester United have at their disposal? And you can see the difference that those sort of intangible things like confidence, like belief, can do to a squad. And that's almost the hardest job for a manager. And you can go in and you can work on set pieces, or you can work on certain tactics or shape, but confidence seems to be the hardest one.
Yeah, confidence, but he's give belief into that group of players. I think sometimes with young coaches, and I think with Ruben Amorim when he was at the time, sometimes coaches are guilty of overcomplicating things and
too much information,
trying to give the players too much information. Yeah. I think what Michael's done, he's gone in, he's given them not so much information, but actually just reminds them the basics, what I spoke about before, of making sure you do that right, and then you have got good players in there who can win games.
Dorgu's the best example of that. The last 2 games, he's been absolutely amazing. It looks like he's just playing freedom. It's all over the place, scoring goals, making things happen, enjoying himself. That's football. It's a crazy season at the moment, and the ups and downs of teams, especially Man United, is making our job more interesting, I suppose.
The other thing that's making it more interesting is speculation about what happens at the end of the season with Manchester United. And the club are very careful not to give. Listen. Wait till you've heard the question first. The club have been very careful not to make him like the interim or the caretaker manager. They said he's got the job till the end of the season. After that, there will be a longer-term manager in place. If it carries on like that, do you think that if he continues like this, could he be the right man for the job?
Of course he can. I think, listen, Michael Carrick's got an opportunity to show everyone, to show Manchester United that he's capable of doing that job. And what we've seen the last 2 weeks, of course he has to have a consistency about his results and performances, but what we've seen is he's very capable of doing it. And if it carries on like this, there'll be a massive pressure on Manchester United board to put him in at the end of the season. I know they've been there with Ollie before, but I think this feels a little bit different.
Guys, well played. Harry, as you've just been applauding them, you've made those Manchester United supporters very happy indeed. On the back of what you did in the derby, how special a result and performance was that?
Yeah, definitely, it was absolutely massive. We know that obviously the first game, the derby, at Old Trafford, you always get up for them, and you know that one-off results can happen, so we had to back it up today, and we spoke about it before the game, coming to the league leaders who have been excellent this year, I must say, and they asked a lot of questions of you, and to come here to have the setback late on as well, and to go and get the winner was a magnificent performance.
Yeah, Mateus, like Harry said, a setback late on, 2-2, looked all set up for Arsenal to push for the winner, but it was you that got it. What your most special moment in a United shirt so far?
100%. I think this kind of games, the games then we dream to play. when I come to United, of course, like these are the games that we watch on television and want to be part of that. And yeah, of course, I think this is one of the best moments for me here.
Yeah, so like you say, it is a game you watch on television. You dream of scoring the winner in a game like this. What does it mean to do it?
Everything is exactly what I try to feel when I come in these kind of games. Always they say is to big players, and to be part of that, like have teammates like Harry, everyone here, the leaders, always teach me how is the feeling, and to be here in the pitch now and then help them to conquer this win is everything.
Harry, what on earth has happened in the last 12, 14 days?
Yeah, obviously Michael's come in, he's been brilliant with us, he's brought fresh energy and the group's really galvanised, and obviously 2 tough games. Everyone probably thinks we come away with them, we're not many points, but to win both is magnificent. Obviously we've got a much bigger squad now as well. We've got the lads back from AFCON, and obviously got players like Mateus coming off the bench, who I'm sure he's not too happy sat on the bench the last couple of games. I know what he's like and he wants to play, but I must say he's made the difference in the 2 games. He's come on against City and changed the game, and today again he's made the difference for us, and it just shows the squad of players and the attacking talent that we have now that can come on and do that.
Well, that's it, Mateus. I mean, if you're on the bench and you're not happy about it, you come on and do what you've done the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what I took with Carrick now, but I know like the quality of the group. Everyone have the quality to play. Everyone wants to play, of course. But yeah, the important decision is help the team. Come here every single minute that you have is to give everything to help this team, to help the teammates. I think we did well today also.
Harry, could I just ask you one last question about your opponents today? You said they give you all sorts of different problems, but from the minute, certainly the minute you went 1-1, did you sense there was a nervous situation here, something you could exploit?
Well, I thought the first 20 minutes they started really well. They put us on the back foot so much, but we watched the game we knew against Liverpool, and they did the same in the first half there. But after 20 minutes, I felt like we got a grip of the game, and we started being little bit more brave on the ball. And when we started playing through the middle and we're playing finding passes through the lines, I felt like we could really open them up. And I think we was comfortable the second half. Obviously, their biggest threat was set plays. They managed to score one. Obviously, it was a scrappy goal to concede, something that we'll have to look at. But like I said, we have quality that we can hurt teams, and we've managed to do that today.
They're still singing behind you.
No, these fans deserve it. It's been a tough couple of years for them, and results like last week and tonight or this evening is what they deserve.
Well done. Mateus, you're the match winner. Harry's our player of the match. You're all right passing that on.
You deserve me. All the best.
But yet again, lots of contenders for the player of the match in that Manchester United team, and Harry Maguire, what a renaissance from him as well. Back in the side last week after a 10-game absence, kept out Manchester City, and he's managed to help his team get over the line here against Arsenal.
You're making being the Manchester United manager look very easy. How proud were you of that performance?
Yeah, massively proud. I think it was different to last week. 2 very different games. As I said that to you before the game. You know, it was going to be different today, and they put us under a lot of pressure in different ways, and we never probably had as much genuine regular threat as we did last week within the game. When I thought there was periods when we did look really dangerous, and to come here and to score 3 goals, and in the manner we did, you know, with the going 1 down and coming back, and then the setback, and then keep going, and Mateus with a huge moment for us, and the boys had to put an awful lot in today. It probably didn't come as easy as not. It wasn't easy last week, but I mean the flow of the game and the momentum was with us pretty much the whole time. This one we had to dig deep, and it was a massive effort, and I'm really proud of them.
So after 20 minutes, half an hour, how did you start to turn the flow of that match?
We understood the start of the game was going to be a little bit like that, as much as we tried to turn the momentum in our favour. I think we understood how the game was going to go and the flow of it, and I thought we started to take the ball and connections through the pitch and had that composure and a few moments probably gaining a bit of confidence as well, which is understandable, and actually probably we were having a decent spell, and we just seemed to have come into the game when they scored, and which was disappointing, but again showed the character to come back. And there were stages in the game we had to defend, you know, they make you defend the box really, and it's challenging at times, but I thought we had definitely enough in the game to keep believing in the confidence, and always fancied us to score.
In terms of game plan and maybe where the spaces were, I know you said it's obviously different to last week, different type of game. But can you talk us through that, how it was different?
That's different in so many ways. I think you know, the whole atmosphere last week and from the start, and kind of you ride that wave, and emotionally you're kind of on a constant high in some ways. Today, obviously coming away, we had to kind of create our own energy between us, and the away fans in the corner were incredible. So there's that element, playing away from home, and understanding the kind of the phases of the game, really, how it's going to develop, and being patient when you've got to, and being disciplined at the right time. And yeah, I thought we took the ball at times really well, and played forward, and really positive, and got the rewards from it.
You're starting to see some really good connections within the team. Look in midfield with Casemiro and Mainu. The two wide guys, the way they could connect and help their fullbacks as well, that was key last week. Would you say key again today?
Yeah, definitely. There was all sorts of little connections throughout the pitch. I think partnerships and units that was really strong, and it's been 10 days, you know, so it was never going to be perfect, and we couldn't expect to come here and all of a sudden dominate the whole game and the ball, and you know, we're just starting off, really, and so it's a great starting point, but we need to put some layers on top, really, and we'll try to do that in the coming weeks.
How have you done this, Michael? It looks and feels a team and a club transformed at the moment.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to the staff and the players, I have to say, in terms of how much they've invested and how much they've bought into it, and it's all right trying to help them and say certain things, but they got to live it, you know, and they have done. I think you've seen that, boys coming off the bench making a difference, and so it's a real collective feeling, and it's great when it comes together and everyone's in it, and we can celebrate with the fans at the end. I think it's important, and it's a big moment, and my kids were in there. They're not so kids anymore, but they were in there. So
they were in the away end, were they?
In the away end. So even that in itself, you know, is it's emotional. It's the passion, it's the excitement of these type of games, and to come out on top's fantastic. Did
you have a moment? Did you, when you were looking? I saw you were in the corner, obviously, to thank the fans. Did you spot your kids?
Yeah, I seen them.
Just a little bit of eye contact.
Yeah, no, I seen them. Yeah, it's nice, you know. They were going as crazy as everybody else, and it should be like that, you know. We won't always celebrate, obviously, with respect to Arsenal, and we're in their stadium, but I think when you have a result like that, I think it's only right we go and appreciate the supporters, and we certainly did that.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering, you're not just a Manchester United manager, former player, you're a fan, season ticket holder.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I guess
there's two sides of it, you know. There's obviously the emotion of that, and then, like I said from day one, I'm here to do a job, really, and make the team as best as we can, and to have that connection two ways is special.
You know everyone's going to get giddy, I'm sure you won't, but are you starting to see, you said from the brilliant performances you had, you can already see layers you can add to it, so are you starting to see a long-term project you can get your teeth into here?
It's not that I'm starting to see. I think coming here less than 2 weeks ago, you know, I said we'd make every decision for the greater the good and the bigger picture for the football club, and my job's to try and keep improving the team and keep adding to it, and not getting carried away with two massive results, two huge results and big performances, and it's always about what's next that really matters, and keep our feet on the ground and keep doing the right things this week.
Would you like to do it beyond this season?
Listen, I'm enjoying it, you know. It's a fantastic position to be in. What happens next is, I'm not going to be answering it every week, because it is what it is, but at the moment I'm really enjoying it, and I'll continue to do what I can.
Well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Mikel Arteta's work at Arsenal is being viewed in an even brighter light after the recent coaching shakeups elsewhere. With Chelsea parting ways with Enzo Maresca and Manchester United moving on from Ruben Amorim, the contrast is hard to miss. Arsenal has kept moving forward under Arteta, giving him time through difficult stretches, and now seeing the payoff as the club pushes again in the Premier League title race. It also raises a bigger question about strategy. While Chelsea and United are changing direction again, Arteta has been in place for more than 6 years, outlasting a long list of managers across those two clubs in that span. That stability has become part of the story, and it was a major talking point on the Seeing Red podcast with Tom Canton and John Cross. Beyond reacting to Amorim's dismissal and breaking down wins over Aston Villa and Bournemouth, plus Manchester City's loss to Chelsea, the conversation kept returning to one core idea: structure. Not just who is the coach, but how much power that coach has, and whether the club is built to support a long-term project. Cross pointed to Arsenal as a rare example of patience turning into real strength. He argued that Arsenal's willingness to back Arteta through the messy early phases helped create the stable position they're in now, and that this kind of time and support investment is what can turn a club into something truly solid. Canton's response was sharp and honest. Arteta's arc, he said, has almost become a problem for other clubs, because it tempts them to keep coaches they probably shouldn't. But at the same time, it's still the best example of what can happen when you hire the right person and actually give them time. And that time wasn't smooth. The discussion highlighted how Arsenal could easily have pulled the plug early. 2 eighth-place finishes, then 5th, missing out on the Champions League, and a Europa League semi-final exit to Unai Emery's Villarreal. Any of those moments could have pushed a club into panic mode. Instead, the argument is that Arsenal recognized the bigger reality. Arteta didn't have the resources to compete at the required level right away. The squad needed a rebuild. The roster needed to be refreshed. That's where the comparison to Chelsea and United becomes even more pointed. The podcast suggested that recruitment and decision-making structure are often what determine whether a coach survives. If signings don't land, results suffer. And if a coach doesn't have enough influence, or the club isn't aligned behind a clear plan, it becomes much easier for things to collapse. In other words, giving time only works if the coach is empowered to shape the team in a way that matches the vision. Cross also emphasized that Arteta's situation stood out because he pushed to be a true manager, not just a head coach. The idea is simple. Top coaches want a real say in the build, and they want the club to match what they were promised when they took the job. The discussion even pointed to how Arteta survived a low moment, like the home loss to Burnley, because the club stayed behind him. And in that period, with fan pressure affected by the COVID-era environment, Arsenal were able to hold their nerve instead of reacting emotionally. Meanwhile, the big unknowns now shift back to Chelsea and Manchester United. Who replaces Amorim? And how will the next chapter look at Chelsea? The answers may come sooner than people expect. But for Arsenal, the reality stays the same. They're stable, they're moving forward, and they're still in the title chase, while others are starting over again. And that contrast can shape how people judge every manager in the league. Because when two massive clubs hit the reset button again, it forces the same question Cross raised on the show. Is the quick switch actually fixing the problem, or just delaying the real work? The bigger takeaway from the discussion is that time isn't a magic solution by itself. It only becomes valuable when the club's structure supports the plan, and when the coach has the influence to push the squad in the direction he believes it needs to go. That's why the distinction between head coach and manager kept coming up. The podcast point is that if a coach is expected to own the results, he usually wants a meaningful say in the decisions that shape those results. And if he doesn't get that, patience alone won't save him. That's also where Arteta's early struggles get reframed. Those finishes and setbacks could have become a reason to panic. Instead, they became evidence of why alignment matters, because Arsenal chose to treat them as part of a build, not a final verdict. And once the squad was reshaped the way the club believed it needed to be, the results started to reflect that long-term approach. So the repercussions aren't just about Arsenal looking stable, it's about how stability changes your margin for error. When you don't reset every year, you're not constantly starting from zero. You're building on decisions, learning from setbacks, and keeping a clearer identity. For Chelsea and Manchester United, the immediate consequence is obvious. They're changing direction again, which means the next appointment carries even more weight. Because every new coach isn't just judged on results. He's judged on whether the club is finally giving him the structure and authority that the role demands. That's why the question at the end matters so much. Who will replace Amorim, and how will Liam Rosenior do at Chelsea? Because those answers will test the exact theme the show kept returning to. Time, support, structure, and control. And for Arsenal, it's a different kind of pressure. Stability doesn't guarantee trophies, but it does keep you in the fight longer. And right now, while others restart, Arsenal get to stay focused on what they're already doing, chasing the Premier League title.